I think that's the biggest thing about humans is people need to realize that everybody is the same.
Yeah.
Right. So everything is circumstantial. So
Yeah.
like people always like, the racist people will say, black people commit more crime.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not black people, it's people in poverty.
Yeah.
It's the same way in
Exactly.
America where the white people are poor
Yeah.
in certain areas. Those white people are committing the crimes.
Yeah.
It's people that are exposed to a certain thing continue to do a certain thing.
Exactly.
And
it's literally not even color based.
Exactly. It's not color based. Like in America, in those poor South areas where maybe like there's more white people, like, caravan trash type oaks.
Yeah.
And women obviously. But, those are the people that are committing the crimes, regardless of their color. It's people that are in desperate situations that commit the felonies and do the crimes. It has nothing to do about race. What's happening, guys? Welcome to another episode of Just the Radio. A guest that has been on before, but someone that, is obviously someone that needs to come on. And we actually were speaking that he's going to come back on again afterwards. So, Tumi Tladi, hip-hop artist. You're also a producer. You're a creator of music and someone that expresses themselves through music. So, bro, thank you so much for coming on.
Shout out. Thanks for having me, bro. One thing on the producer side, sometimes people get it confused. A producer doesn't only have to make the beats, he can direct, just so you know. Because we always get that confusion. Like sometimes if we say like as an artist, you also can produce, they think, oh no, you make beats as well? Oh my God, you know what I mean? I have made like few beats, but doesn't mean like I'm a beat maker, you know what I mean? But in terms of producing and bringing the track together, definitely.
In terms of your own music, what was that maybe when you started out? Were you producing your own beats and everything?
No. It was various producers, but my homie Must Be Dubs is the one that's been holding it down for me. If we co-produce, that's the most we do, but like he's the guy that like does the whole music direction. When it comes with him, I think where I produce sometimes it's where if I'm featured on a song and then I'm telling the person that I'm featured on their song, I'm basically directing the project or directing the song and saying, yo, I think you should have this person on the song. I think we should go with this sound. And that's where I come from, the producer aspect of it, yeah.
And a producer in terms of, let's say now, you just released two new singles.
One, yeah.
One new single.
Yeah.
The other one was, I was actually listening to it on the way here.
The thing is, other people thought the other songs were mine, but I'm a feature in them. But the way we just been pushing it was like, I was very invested in them.
Was that Cook Up?
Yeah, Cook Up. That's my producer's song. So
that must be done. So he was actually supposed to be on today, but obviously the man got busy. But that's cool. We can still talk about him and talk about the work that he's done with you. The Cook Up, that wasn't, your single that had features. You would feature.
No, there was a stage where I was thinking, hey, should I release this as a single? But then, like, with the idea and the direction Must Be Dabs had for it, I liked his one. I liked the people that were going to be involved in the song, that are involved in the song now. So with that, I was like, you know what, you take the song and you rock with it. But I think definitely initially when we made the song, it was supposed to be us looking for a single for myself, And from there, I obviously made a song called Nightmare. That's like my current single. And I was like, damn, when we made it, like I wasn't even out, like basically when I record music, I just record. I don't even think about releasing. Then I come back maybe the next day or the next week and I listen to the song. And when I heard Nightmare, I was just like, man, I actually really want people to see the side of me, Not just always hype music and stuff like that, but a very musical aspect. But obviously, I go back to it. Like, example, my next single will be a bit hype again, So I try to give two sides of me. There's this energetic Tladi, and then there's this soft Tladi that wants people to just have a listen and chill and relax and be in the ambience of things, and their scenario, So I definitely, with Nightmare, I just pitch it like if you're cruising at night and you're listening to the song, that's what I want you to feel that ambience, I
was about to say, like when you get into a song and you feel the words, let's say you're driving. I know for myself, if I'm listening to a song and it's a really good song, I'll be driving and then like halfway through the song, you realize like you're driving, like you get totally submerged in the music and in the words and everything that is done to, it literally just sucks you in.
Yeah, it's a big deal for me. It's a big deal for me because I think that's what made me love music in the first place, because it was never necessarily about the lyrics, but it was about the feeling it gave you when in a scenario. I know this one where they have the memes where somebody's listening to a song and they look out the window with tears or something. But that's a good example of like a song made you feel a certain way. You had a certain mood, and it complements that mood you in. And I usually call that like ambience music, like ambience being it's a specific setting and a specific emotion at that moment. And I like to make music like that. When you're in that situation and you're listening to my song, I want it to hit you harder. So for me, I'm not really into making music where it's about impressing the best bars or impressing someone just to be like, yo, this guy's so cool. For me, it's like, yo, in your personal reach, when you by yourself and you listening to the music, you don't need anyone around you to influence you to like the music. So yeah.
And you say like you went for a different feel and you went for more of an ambience feel.
Yeah.
Is it still within your usual genre though?
Yeah. So most of my music will always be ambience driven. But there's certain songs, like especially when it comes to singles, where I make it for the people and I make it very energetic. Because I think that I used to be a dancer, so I'm really about that energy as well. I want people to have fun, and I'll give that to them as well, But that's why there's two sides of me. I still need like my supporters to give me a nickname, like the nickname for my soft music, a nickname for my hype music, because that's like where I try to find that balance of being able to release both sides of me, So that's the journey I'm on right now, how to find that balance where I can give them the music I really want them to get to know me based on, and it's very relaxed music, versus the hype music that I grew up on in terms of dancing, in terms of energy, because I do have that energy as well. I want them to receive that from me as well.
And the audience, is your hype music received better, or is the genre and the style that you actually are more accustomed to and want to produce more? Better received by your audience? I
think they work in different ways. I think that's why I'm focused on both of them, because, example, my chilled music reaches a bigger masses via streams. So I'll tend to have more stream numbers for my chilled music than my hype music. But my hype music will have more noise, more people talking about it, more opportunities, more, deals or whatever, via the hype music, because that's in everyone's face. It's like, yo, have you heard the song? Have you heard the song? But I noticed when I make very chilled music, it's via the streams and impact of listeners actually getting it to each ear. It's more impactful, so that's why I try to find a balance between the two. Yeah.
You're actually live now. Do you have anyone commenting, asking any questions?
Yeah.
You can even ask them to ask questions, and then we can address them during the podcast now.
Yeah, guys, it's on YouTube, so ask away. Put it on it. What are you saying?
So you're so good.
Everyone show it love. But yeah, guys, if you have any questions, we'll answer it here.
And
it was on
you got quite big into Clubhouse. Are you still doing it?
I haven't had time, only because I'm in studio mode. So every time I want to get the chance, I'm in studio. So, and then during the day, no one's really on it. If I'm free during the day, like no one's really on it. So I haven't really had a chance to jump on it, but definitely soon. I think just when I'm happy with what we've done in studio, then I feel like I'm going to start jumping on the other things I was doing before, like Clubhouse, even just have a good time with PS4, like just personal things for myself. Like I'm going to get back to, but right now I like literally stopped everything and like I'm just in studio. Yeah.
So you being in studio mode, the people you're working with that you're allowed to discuss, and the songs and the work that you have coming that you're allowed to talk about. What do you have coming forward that the people can be excited about?
So like man, with my next songs, it's gonna be on my own. We just felt like we want that foundation for my supporters, where they're getting more of me. I've released a project where I feel like they have had enough of me in a sense, but at the same time, with the songs that we believe are bangers that are going to create a lot of noise, we wanted to show that to everybody and show everyone I can stand on my own, especially with the next two songs that are going to come out. So the one song that's going to come out soon is called Hello Dumelang. And that song is basically me reintroducing myself, because I kind of felt like with Basadi, when Basadi was making noise all over the streets, at the end of the day, the song was moving faster than my name. you know? So many people around the country know the song. Sometimes they won't know me. So Hello Dumelang's that song, and that's why I'm by myself, because we really actually could have had big features for the song, but we were like, no, man. At the end of the day, this song is saying hello Dumelang, and Dumelang also is a greeting, you know, and Sutu. So it's like, let's greet everybody. Let's introduce yourself again, because you had a banger like Basadi. We believe this song is also going to be a banger, but now this is you introducing yourself as Tumi Tladi. This is you being personal with everybody. At the same time, you're still hyping them up. So the song's very much around, yo, I'm Tumi Tladi, here I am. You thought I was done, I'm not done yet. Like, we're going to make more noise, you know, it doesn't stop, you know, because that's usually what a lot of artists go through, is that they'll have a song that makes a lot of noise, and then they tend to feel the pressure for the next song. But I just really been doing this for a long time, so I kind of saw how the game plays that, and I learned how to pace myself. I learned not to let hype or glamour distract me from what I need to do. Also planning is important. Don't live too much on social media where you're driven and your decision making is based on social media, you know? So I was just able to plan, like, after Basadi, you know, people obviously wondered, like, what is he gonna do after this? What's gonna happen? Is he gonna release more music? And in my head, I was like, yo, we got the songs. We got a lot of songs. We know what we want to do. We know how we want to portray my brand to everybody. We know how we're going to do a rollout for 2021, 2022. You know, people ask about albums and stuff like that. And I'm at a place where I'm like, you know what? The album will come when we've made so many songs where I feel like when we're cutting down songs, we're just choosing our favorite songs, we'll just automatically see that. But for me to be like, hey, I'm working on an album, I don't like that type of aspect personally. It's not wrong for other people, but only because it puts you under pressure where now every time you're making a song, you're making it for that album. And for me, that's not organic. I believe in like getting in the studio. And that's even what happened with Basadi. Like, Basadi wasn't planned. It's just getting in the studio, making a song. And it just happens that, wow, the song's dope, you know? The song I'm going to release now, Hello Dumelang, was the same thing, just in studio. It just happened that, oh, this is dope. So I don't like planning when it comes to the creative side. You know what I mean? I believe that with creativity, you shouldn't plan and be like, okay, guys, we in the studio, we have to make this hit. You know what I mean? I think when you do that, you have to already be like established, like DJ Maporisa level or Nasty C level, where it's like you can sit down and strategize with your writers, your producers, have a whole team together, you know what I mean? And hopefully potentially have a hit. But even when you're an A-lister and a superstar, sometimes that doesn't work out as well. So I just was like, you know what? I'm going to never force the creative side in terms of looking for a hit. I'm just going to make a lot of music. And when we're sitting down in studio and we're like, yo, this one's dope. Oh, even to a point that I might not like it, but when people in the studio are coming to visit me and they're listening to the music and they're going crazy for a specific song, I know that, oh, okay, this one's dope. This one's for the people. Yes, it might not be for myself, but at the end of the day, why am I doing this? I'm doing this because I feel like I'm a servant to the people as an entertainer. And when I do want to give a part of myself, that can be in a project or in an album, or like Nightmare, where I have a moment where I'm just like, yo, guys, hey, let me give you a bit of myself. Let's have a moment together, you know? And it was a beautiful moment when the song dropped. It was a moment of like, oh shit, like, you really about this music thing. You take it serious, you're passionate, you know? Now it's just the next song, I'm just like, yo, I'm giving a song for the people to have fun on TikTok with, to greet their friends. You know, a couple of presenters told me that they even want to use it for, they want to use it for their entries when they're doing a TV show. They want to play it as their entry song. So it's very fun that these type of things happen, you know, that it's unplanned when you do it, but then people start getting ideas for it. And I was like, I like this type of energy.
I think that's what a lot of artists are doing now. If you look at people creating music just so that it can be used on TikTok.
I don't like that.
Like, if you look at Jason Derulo, you look at his music now, it's kind of just structured to almost be used for TikTok, right? For TikTok, and for people to be able to have little 15, 30-second videos where it's not actually about the artistic value of the words, songs, the lyrics. Yeah,
and the fans sometimes, listen, the TikTok users would be like, damn, I want to use this, right? But the thing is, like, the fans in the long run, especially remember I said my chilled music will get a lot of streams, is that now you're losing that connection with that person that wants to just bump your music in the car. Now all they think about is I can only bump Jason Derulo when, you know, I do TikTok. I didn't want that. If my song benefits TikTok, that's amazing, but you must feel like, damn, I can play this at the club. I can play this with my friends. We can all have fun, dance together. There must be more options, you know what I mean? So I also try to be careful that I don't make music necessarily for social media, but more for the energy of when, if I come to a gig or if I go to a party, I must feel like, yeah, they can play my song. Like right now, they played my song, I won't feel weird about it. Because as an artist, you got to be honest with yourself. Because I feel like artists, and I did it as well, will force people to, or DJs to play their music. And it's like, but does your song fit the aesthetic of the party? And it won't. And they'll just be like, DJ play the song and then it doesn't sound right. Like what have you accomplished? Yeah. So I had to learn to be honest with myself and say, okay, I want this song played in the club. Maybe we'll go to a gig and I'll ask Must Be Dubs, yo, bro, play this song. Let's just see how they react. I'll look around and I'll be like, nah, not this one. And then I'll put the song to the side, and that's how I just keep finding out which songs work, which songs can I release. The one I'm releasing next, I tested it out. I even perform it, you know what I mean? To make sure that, okay, can I engage with the fans with the song? Yes, I can. Can people use it for other stuff? They come to me, like fans will come to me, be like, yo, when is that song releasing? I want to use it for TikTok. Oh, when is the song coming? I want to use it as an entry video. They want to use it for different things. And I'm like, oh, okay. At the end of the day, I'm making a product, and I need my consumer to be able to use that product. So when the consumer's happy, I'm happy.
And now you're saying like clubs and, you know, events and stuff. How's that? Because obviously last time we spoke, there were no clubs at all.
Yeah, right.
There was no events.
Damn, yeah.
Have you been able to obviously book and schedule a few? And have you even done some already this year?
Yeah. So it's been like a fun ride, you know. It's from not performing, it's like been a drastic transition, because it's just like seeing so many people at the same time. You know, sometimes I get weirded out with COVID because it's just like, yo, you know, so many people in your face and stuff. But like at the end of the day, like I also appreciate it. I appreciate the love that, you know, people give myself and give, you know, my friends when they're also out there performing. It's just amazing. And, you know, a part of me would always be like annoyed, like, damn, man, like why couldn't, you know, this happen? Like, why did COVID have to happen? Because I just feel like so much more would have been offered if, you know, COVID didn't happen, especially financially, you know, because at the end of the day, promoters are also struggling. Hence why your big artists are not performing as much, because promoters are struggling to cough out the cash, you know, and the right amount of cash, you know. They still pay, you know, we good with the pay, but like there's a stage before COVID where it was like certain shows I'm doing, like I would have paid gang, like compared to now, only because of COVID, you know. So I just can't wait till this COVID era is done. And it's almost done, because we've heard, you know, news that, you know, soon there's no more limitations for events, like maybe towards the end of the year, where now that helps the promoter have the racks to, you know, pay us and stuff like that. Yeah.
And now, in terms of COVID and everything, that those events that you have maybe done, obviously there's limited amounts of people that are really allowed in on at the event. But, you know, you still, obviously you're getting paid a little bit less because there's less people coming in.
Yes.
Are those people charged more, or is the entry fee maybe higher, or is it just you getting paid less by the promoter?
I feel like people are still paying the same amounts they used to. And yeah, it's definitely, we us as artists are just basically getting paid fewer than what we used to. I definitely feel like they are charging, but I mean, we do have to have a certain relationship with the promoters, because at the end of the day, like the price does rise up, which is cool. You know, so the one gig I would do with the promoter, like I did it for free. Then the next one, he's paid me this amount of money. Then the next one, he's brought it up. So I think it comes from also that support thing that, you know, the promoters needed us just as much as we need them. And when you can find the right promoter that you can trust and they can trust you, you kind of build together, you know, and with the fans. And yeah, it just kind of comes a whole blob of trust between the fans and the promoter and you, and then you rock. Yeah.
So Must Be Dubs being your producer now, you've worked with him obviously quite a bit before. You know, you two working together, is it just you two if it's just on like a
Yeah.
single, your own single, and you're the only person on the track, is it you and him just sitting together, working on it 50-50, or as
Yeah.
a producer and an artist, like what's that collaboration like?
Yeah, man. It's usually that. Basically, we at his crib or my crib, takes out the laptop. Then he'll just be like, "What do you have in mind?" "What's up, Henry?" He'll be like, "What do you have in mind?" And then I'll be like, "I was listening to the song. It's got a vibe to it." So we're like, "Okay, let's go with that energy." And then he'll make the beat, and while he's making the beat, I'm thinking of melodies. You know, I'll say some things. He'll be like, "Oh, let's try this," and we just share ideas. Then there's other sessions where a Phantom Steez, amazing songwriter, an amazing artist. He's performing with Costa Titch at the moment. He'll pull up and we'll be like, "Yo, man, we got this song," and he's listening. He's like, "Oh, yeah," and he'll help with the writing. He'll be like, "Yo, Tumi, yeah, if you said this, my boy, this is gonna be a vibe." You know what I mean? So that's actually what happened with the song I'm gonna release, "Hello Dumelang." Phantom was one of the producers for that song as well, so it's his vision as well. So it's really going to be fun to see how people react to that, and when people like Costa and other gents, Benny Chill, they listen to the song, they were like, "Yo, yeah, this song's going to create noise," So I was like, "Okay, cool." I listened to the song and I was like, "Okay, boys, I'm going to perform it also. I just want to see what happens. I want to go." Performing a song, I was performing a song with Zest Live Dance Crew. And, the reactions were really dope. So I felt like, yeah, I think the song is ready to be released, So, yeah, we all help each other in that sense. Like, there's times where you're just in studio and, someone will make a song and then other guys come in. They're like, "Yo, if you say this and say this," it's not like a formal writing session. Like, "Okay, yo, you're going to write this. You're going to write it." It's just a feeling like, of helping and being there for each other. So I feel like I'm very blessed to be around generous and such helping brothers that I have,
And this whole thing with artists trying to pretend, like a lot of people, like, if you look at all like Eminem's hate, his rap
Yeah.
battles where he will shoot someone for not writing their own music.
Yeah.
Obviously there's so many artists that, obviously let's say someone like Drake, where his people writing for him at times. Why is it as an artist, or some, like obviously you're open to saying like, this person worked with me on this person said maybe make these changes. Why is it that artists want to try pretend sometimes that, they're the only person and they're the only creative in the process?
I think it's that I can't find the right word for it, but I'm just going to say this. They really want to feel like cool and independent. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, it depends on your goal. So some artists want to be a rapper, like they want to be known like, "I'm a rapper, I can battle rap." So it doesn't make sense when people find out, when you're given that image, it doesn't make sense to the audience when they find out, "Oh, this person helped you write this song." Then it's like, but wait, battle rappers write on their own, but you get artists like me or Drake or whoever, where I can't speak for Drake example, but I aim for superstardom. And for you to be a superstar artist, you gotta have a team. There's no super mega superstar artist in the world that is on that pop star level, but does hip hop that wrote on their own. You know what I mean? It's very rare. Kendrick Lamar, he writes on his own, but I wouldn't consider him as a pop star. He's just a huge super rap star. You know what I mean? But when I say pop stars, that every culture listens to your music, every race listens to your music, every station's playing your music, every club is playing. That's a mega star. And for you to be a mega star on the Drake level or Rihanna level, you gotta have a team of writers. So I always have that understanding that yes, I'm writing for my own most of the time, but in order to make sure the customer's happy, sometimes my brain is just going to be tired, or I'm feeling uninspired, and now I'm a millionaire. I'm traveling all the time. I'm doing work overtime, but now I still have to record music while I'm on tour. Sometimes it's good to have that friend, whether it's a friend or a professional writer, to just help you clear your mind and be like, "Yo, don't forget, this is what's happening in the world right now." Because I might be in the tour bus and I'm not seeing what's happening in the world because I'm so focused on my work. And where an assistant writer comes along is that they're not doing everything you're doing. They're not living your lifestyle. They're not busy like you. so they're able to sometimes see what's happening on social media. They're able to maybe go to a club where no one's gonna hound them because they're not you. So they're able to see what's going on in the clubs. They're able to, have conversations with other people, different types of people. Then when you have in the studio session, they come into the room with you, and I might be thinking about, yo, my Rolls Royce, this, or I'm living this life. Now that writer can be like, hey, by the way, this is what I heard that's going down on the streets right now. Oh, for real? This is what's happening in the streets right now? Damn, I didn't know. Now, because that writer's there, he can tell you, you know what I mean? So it's those type of small things where people think the writer's literally writing everything for you. No, that the writer's the person that reminds you of what's going on around you. The writer's that person that can say a line, and you can use that line and feed off that line and make more lines. You know what I mean? I think some people always think that it's just like, oh no, Drake is just chilling, and then they write the song for him. He says, oh, you done? Okay, let me go at it. Let me go. No, it's literally, there'll be moments where if my boys are coming to help me write, I'll be like, yo guys, I want to talk about this. Then a person will say a line. I'll be like, oh, I like that line. I'm going to say this after that line. You're feeding off each other. It's just more of like what do you call it in corporate? What is it, like a briefing session or whatever?
Yeah, it's just like a mutually beneficial relationship.
Yeah, creative session. Yeah, it's a creative session.
As you say, like you want to be like a megastar that all cultures, all races, everyone can, relate to and appreciate your music.
Yeah.
Whereas if you are the only person writing the music, you're not going to relate to everyone.
Yeah, you're not going to.
Having another bit of input is going to make you and your music far more relatable.
Yeah, you see, like what I always thought about, like if I had to, like when I blow up like internationally, and it's like, yo, every culture is maybe rocking with me, or a majority. I always thought to myself, like if I'm trying to sell my music in India, but I don't want to sound like I'm Indian. I want to be myself. But how do I make a person in India relate to me? There's maybe certain words, a superstar that they love that I can mention. You know what I mean? That I can mention in a song, just one line. And that person in India can be like, oh, he's not trying to be like us. He's not trying to culture vulture our culture. But shout out to him for mentioning the superstar I look up to.
I think the best person to talk about now that does that is Lil Nas.
Yeah,
taking country music and mixing it with rap and hip hop, and getting. I mean, look how well he has done.
Yeah.
From taking, obviously, maybe the South of America, relatively more racist part.
Yeah.
Where maybe country music obviously stemmed from.
Yeah.
And bringing it into the culture of hip hop and rap, and shedding light on the. And just almost bringing together the cultures.
Yeah. And he wanted to piss them off.
Yeah, exactly.
And say, yo,
that's exactly
take your genre, and I can, give it to other cultures and make them enjoy it as well. You know what I mean? And
there's so many people that love country that listen to it like, this is really good.
Yeah.
Just because maybe I don't like black people or something like that.
You see,
I like this music.
You see, and the thing is, like, some black people would also feel like ashamed to listen to country music because it comes from a racist place, So a black person taking it and saying, yo, I'm going to try and make it for everybody. It makes people feel more comfortable to listen to the genre, which is dope, So, yeah.
So I think someone needs to take Afrikaans music in South Africa and some hip-hop, a black hip-hop artist needs to take it in South Africa and, bring everyone together.
Yeah, man. Like, I definitely see that's probably going to happen at some point, and people like I rate it's gonna be crazy the day a guy can hit that, because they are like Easy B, but he's obviously colored and stuff. But like I've seen him with the Afrikaans music, like he's rocking it with hip hop Afrikaans, So I definitely, if we were having a chat right now, I'd be like, man, let's take a young black brew, man, teach it, if he knows Afrikaans, man, let's teach him to rap in Afrikaans. Like you guys put that whole hip hop vibe to it. Just so also a person that's Afrikaans, even if he's white, like, and he loves hip hop, can feel like, damn, man, they also trying to reach out to me. You know what I'm saying? And they don't feel like they don't fit in hip hop. Because I've had friends like that are white, and they want to be in hip hop, and they feel like they don't fit in, especially if they didn't grow up around black people. They feel like, okay, maybe I mustn't listen to this music. And it's like, nah, like there's no race for this. Like as long as you feel comfortable and you feel like you fit in with this music, be proud of it. You know what I mean?
Why is it, do you think that, some white people might feel like, this is, I'm ashamed to listen to, well, not ashamed, but almost like I don't have a right to.
Yeah. I think it's just a situation that at the end of the day, we have to come to terms that, I think white people and black people know it. The whole, slavery and racism thing for like 500 years has really hurt both sides in a sense of like, damn, like we actually in recovery, So I think from hearing my white friends chat about it is that thing of like, ish, man, like we've already taken so much from you guys. Now me jumping into hip hop, it feels like, damn, do I deserve to because of what my people have done? And the thing is, like, I told him, like, from black people, like, we are mostly forgiving. So as long as you're real about this shit, as long as you embrace it and you embrace our culture, we're not going to hold that against you. I think where it becomes a problem is that if you're trying to be fake about it and take money and trying to be selfish about it and not give back to the community that is supporting you, you know what I mean? And that's what Acosta Tish does. Like, he grew up around black people. So for him, he doesn't have to think about it. He naturally gives back to black people. He's naturally with black people. He's naturally about the culture. He supports the culture. He uplifts people. You don't feel like, this guy is just taking from us. You know what I mean? So he never has to think twice about it. It's like, I'm in it. This is who I am. So when another white guy says, oh man, I feel so weird, then I say, yo, don't do it if you don't feel comfortable. But the day you feel comfortable and you feel proud of what hip hop does for you and what it does for the culture, then embrace that. Like, no one's gonna hate on you for embracing hip hop culture. You know what I mean? My boy DJ Double D, he's a white guy, but he embraces hip hop culture and he's helped the hip hop community. Apart from black people, he's helped the hip hop community in so many ways that is epic, and black people celebrate him. We like, hey, DJ Double D, you're killing it. You know what I mean? So I think it's about how you represent yourself and are you proud of the culture.
I think it's also because most, obviously there's exceptions, but most white people are not nearly as good as, people of color when it comes to maybe hip hop style music. I feel maybe it's because for so long white people have thought like, maybe I shouldn't try this. So they've never been able to explore their talents and they haven't been able to, put themselves out there to be able to do it. Or do you think it is just something that is more cultural?
Yeah, it's really about your cultural surrounding, because I don't think you're not good because you're white. I think it's just what you're exposed to. You know what I mean? The same way I know that if I grew up around Afrikaners and I'm doing Afrikaans music vocally, I would kill that shit. Like, I would kill it. Like, if I grew up around Afrikaans people and I know the lingo, I know the texture, we listen to Afrikaans music all the time. Me as Tumi Tladi right now, and my musical aspect of who I am, if I was just brought up in a different environment, it would still be the same. So I think it's as a human, it's just about, do you have it or you don't, and who are you brought up around? You know what I mean? So put a white person or put a black person in that culture, if they genuinely musically talented, they're gonna rock that genre regardless. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I think that's the biggest thing about humans is people need to realize that everybody is the same.
Yeah.
Right? So everything is circumstantial. So
yeah,
like people always like, the racist people will say, black people commit more crime.
Yeah.
It's not black people, it's people in poverty.
Yeah.
It's the same way in America where the white people are poor. In certain areas, those white people are committing the crimes.
Yeah.
It's people that are exposed to a certain thing continue to do a certain thing.
Exactly. And it's literally not even color-based.
Exactly. It's not color-based. Like in America, in those poor South areas where maybe like there's more white people, like, caravan trash type oaks.
Yeah.
And women, obviously. But, those are the people that are committing the crimes, regardless of their color. It's people that are in desperate situations that commit the felonies and do the crimes. It has nothing to do about race.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? And I saw that even with COVID, where I won't lie, low-key, I used to, even with SA, I just used to feel like, black people are just suffering the most. But even with COVID, like, I saw, what it did to other families, like even white people, where now I started to see like white people in the streets, like asking for money, you know what I mean? So I was just like, unfortunately, the way apartheid was done, certain cultures did get a better opportunity, just in terms of being ahead of time. But I think just with time, every culture can have a chance depending on your hustle. This whole thing of like blaming race for certain things, it works to a certain extent, but after that, now it really becomes your hustle and how you protect your people. You know what I mean? Regardless of the color, are you protecting your people? Because you're finding now white guys protecting these black people, so it's not even a race thing no more. It's about who your people are. You know what I mean? So just future wise, there's definitely, it doesn't get easier. For my political view of how things are going to go in the future, there's always a losing side, you know, and there's always the other side that's winning. And because the other side is losing, the other side is winning even more. It happened with COVID. People became wealthier because of COVID.
Yeah, the richer got rich and the poorer got even more poor.
Yeah, I'm saying. So even in the future soon, it's not even going to be about race. It's just going to literally be about the economy, like who's getting the best opportunity. I think where it comes about being race is only because certain people have that natural instinct of protecting their people, which happens to be black or white. You know what I mean? But that's why I said an example of where you get a white guy that's successful, but he's surrounded by black people, so that's his people, so he's protecting them, he's making sure money comes into their pockets. That way now no one's talking about race, they just saying, you're just protecting your people. But it's like, what, you could have talked about race if it was him doing that for his white friends, then you'd be like, it's a race thing, like just protecting his white friends. But now when it's a black person doing it for his white friends, no one will bring in race there. You know what I'm saying? So it's really about like who you're around and make that money and protect your people or your community. For me, I think automatically when I'm wealthy, the community I'm trying to protect and help them make money is the hip hop community. You know what I mean? Whether you're black or white, I'm trying to make sure the hip hop community flourishes.
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, that's what it is going to get to one day. It's going to be, you know, it's not going to be white versus black, hopefully.
Yeah.
But also, you never want it to be something versus something. You know, you kind of want equality all around.
Yeah.
But I think it is going to develop into a stage where it's the wealthy versus the poor.
Yeah.
Where it's going to be the wealthy people just continue to look after the wealthy people, and the poor people are just going to be struggling and continue to struggle.
Yeah. That's pretty much where I see it going, like for real. So now we're in this battle of like, like which side are you going to be on? And that's based on education. And unfortunately, I don't know why school doesn't do it. And it's pretty much maybe the main reason that school's not teaching you how to do financial management. So obviously, anyone that's in the poor position is not going to have an advantage, because in those poor schools, they're not teaching them financial management. They're not teaching them about investment. They're not teaching a kid that's 14 years old, if they had to be a big rap star and make R1 million tomorrow, how to manage that money. So when there's a poor kid that becomes wealthy, they just throw the cash away because, well, what else am I supposed to do with the money?
And I think that's also, I mean, a poor school, a wealthy school, it's still not taught in either of them.
Yeah, that's the crazy part.
So it's not like it's just the poor schools that don't get taught money management. It's the wealthy schools.
You see,
where they got rich parents. It's still not being taught.
And the only advantage the wealthy schools will have is that the parents being successful will give them that extra education, you know, and be like, yo, don't work hard, work smart. That's the one thing kids at school are not taught. You know what I mean? They taught to work hard, but they're not taught to work smart. There's never that saying. You know, every time I speak about that saying, like, yo, don't work hard, work smart, some people get blown away. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's those type of attitudes of, yo, don't spend this money like here, rather invest it here. So small phrases that are taught by the parents are not taught at school. So hence why a rich kid can stay or be wealthy because of that extra education. Where a kid in a struggling school, their parents also don't know because they came from that same background. It's only a select few that will do the extra research, will do the extra mile to figure out what the wealthy people are talking about, what the wealthy people know. You know what I mean? Some people are brought up to say, okay, I must just get my degree, then go to work and go for a job. Meanwhile, some people know that, no, I'm supposed to actually know who's who, go network with that person, and I'll get my job that way. Let me chill with that guy at the club, get to know that boss of wherever I want to work. You know, he gets to know me. I take him out for this. We bonding. Now when I'm like, yo, bro, this is what I do, he's like, oh, okay, you my bro, you got the job. Some people just say, oh, no, I got my degree, let me just go. Meanwhile, other people that are stealing your job are just people that knew how to speak to the employer.
How to win people over and how to influence them.
How to influence, you know what I'm saying? So
working smarter, not harder in the music industry. Obviously, you kind of mentioned some of the things with making connections and, making friends with people and bonding with people. But also, how do you, in
Yeah.
terms of the music, the actual creative process of you creating songs and working smarter, not harder, like how do you go about that?
Yeah, so it's with that one, it's such a tricky one, but in terms of really being straightforward with it, but like where I would see working smart is, example, you're an upcoming artist, you can't necessarily release a lot of music. Like, yo, I'm gonna drop 10 albums in a year. Why? Because you're not known yet, so there's no platform to it. So what are you doing? You're working hard, but you're not working smart because you're wasting material. You're wasting content, you're wasting songs, right? But it's fine. You can still get something out of it if you can find a hit song. But where the working smart happens is that you said, okay, I have 10 albums chilling. I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna release these at a certain time. And I'm gonna make sure each of them get their attention. Now, working hard, if you're in that same position, you just say, I'm releasing 10 songs. You just release them and that's it. Even though your platform's good, yes, you might get a certain level of traction, but if you had to work smarter and say, yo, I'm going to give each song a chance, people are able to absorb your music better. And not only just say, yo, Tumi Tladi is working hard, but now they can be like, yo, he's making an impact. You know what I'm saying? So those are the small details of why I was like, okay, it's not necessarily a straightforward thing. You know what I mean? So I believe definitely in working smart, but at some points you have to work like hard, but like you genuinely have to work smart. Let me use another example. You invested into a company. How can a wealthy guy have time to play golf? You know what I'm saying? He's not working hard all the time. He's working smart. Why? Because he's delegated his business. He has people that can take care of his business. That's the level I want to be. I want to be at a level where money works for me. I'm not working for money. And that's what the schools teach. The both sides, whether it's a struggling school or a rich school, they teach people to work for money. And I had to realize that, oh no, we're not supposed to work for money. Money's supposed to work for us. And that's how you become wealthy. So that's the journey I'm on right now, where I'm starting to learn ways of making money, make money for me. While I'm talking to you, I'm making money. While I'm sleeping, I'm making money. You know what I mean? I want to make passive income so I can focus on my music career and not financially stress about my music career. Because that's another thing that sometimes messes up artists, is that we're struggling to pay rent. We're struggling to pay medical aid. We're struggling to pay insurance. So now with all these stresses, I'm in studio thinking, fuck, how am I going to pay for rent? You know what I mean? And in future, I don't want to have that stress. I want to be able to just be financially free and get in the studio and just rock with no pressure. If I make a whack song, it's fine. It's okay. Let's release another song. But I'm not releasing a song praying that, yo, God, like, please, the song has to make it. Otherwise, I'm screwed. I don't want that. Like, you know what I mean? So, because I've seen a lot of stars that have blown up. Yes, they were struggling. They came from shit, like to nothing, but they blow up. And me chatting to those superstars, like, they blow up was never based on like, yo, this has to be the song. They most of them say they gave up at that point. Even before I released Basadi, I came at a point where I felt like I was giving up. I was like, yo, I think I'm done with this. Like, it's not working. You know what I mean? And when you're not having that expectations of like, my song has to do the most, and you kind of just like, I'm just letting it go. Somehow it corresponds with the universe, and somehow people just gravitate to you more, which is crazy. So I was just like, damn, I want to be at a place where I'm financially free, where I can make music and release music, not worrying about, am I going to make it or not? Because at this point, like, I just love making music so much that I just want to give it to the people. So it's not necessarily about me making it anymore. So especially with COVID, I realized that, no, I need to make sure I can have such a strong financial backing that now when I'm making music, I'm not stressing about the finance and I can do what I love. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a quote where it says like, see your life and see, your jobs as a table.
Yeah.
Look at there's 4 legs in the table.
Yeah.
One leg breaks. It'll be a little bit shaky, but there's still 3 other legs.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's a single leg table, the moment that table breaks, everything falls down.
Yeah.
So, having those multiple streams of income and having passive income that is constantly being generated for you while you're doing what you love. And I think a lot of, with music and a lot
Yeah.
of, in terms of content creation,
Yeah.
when you are less stressed and when you can focus just solely on that and you don't have the world bothering you and, you know, weighing you down, then you can create so much more because it's coming from a place of freedom, coming from a place of just being able to express yourself.
Yeah.
And you don't have these negative thoughts coming through your mind, because obviously a lot of great music has been made from negativity and
Yeah, of course.
depression. And like, I
Definitely.
mean, a
Definitely.
lot of it has,
Definitely.
obviously, but just before you don't want to create music,
Yeah.
you know, because you had a terrible day. You want to create music because you're happy, because you're passionate, because you want to uplift other people.
You know what I'm saying? And especially from the finance side, like for me, I make music if I'm sad, like I got dumped or, you know, someone passed away. They make music, you know, it's a good therapy, but
Yeah.
the finance situation is always the one that really makes artists give up. That's why I pointed the financial side, because other things like depression, etc., I feel like music will always be the remedy for that. But when there's something about the financial strain that really fucks up everybody to a point that they give up, you know. And then when an artist blows up, they chill, because I'm sure everybody, even on my live, I'm sure you guys are wondering that, like, why is there a big artist, maybe especially in South Africa, they'll blow up and then they slow down, and it's like, what happened? Like, you know what I mean? For me, those type of artists, I usually would think that, okay, you weren't really about the music, you were about, I need to get out, and music was the only way out. You know what I mean? And then I would look at a big superstar like, you know, what's his name, Drake, and I'll be like, wait, man, this guy makes about almost like 2,000 songs a year. This guy, you know, has been at it for 10 years. Why? And why is he still like killing it? You know what I mean? Apart from whether it's writers or not, why is he killing it? Why is the drive there? You know? And I realized, firstly, financially, he's good. Secondly, he actually really is obsessed with this music thing. And there was a stage where Must Be Dubs asked me when I was frustrated and I felt like I wanted to quit. You know, he was like, yo, but are you really about this? Like, let's take away fame, let's take away money, let's take away all of it. Like, if you had to quit now, are you still gonna record music? And I realized, I was like, oh shit, snap. Even if I quit, I'll actually still be recording. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I was like, then what's actually the point of quitting? Then I realized, what's the point of quitting? I think I was just being emotional. You know what I mean? So I realized, and I had to ask myself, okay, Tumi, let's say you blow up, you wealthy, you got the house you always wanted, you know, everything's good. Are you still going to record? You know, like, what are you going to do? And I had to be honest with it. And that one took me like a week to think about, you know what I mean? And I realized that actually I would still, because I remember why I'm in this music thing is because every time I hear a song, every time I see an artist perform, it's like the passion reignites every moment. Because when I was a kid, when I saw, Michael Jackson perform, you know, when I saw, you know, Usher on TV, when I saw Jay-Z on TV, I was just like, damn, these guys are lit. And it just sparked this passion in me. So if I take a break right now and I'm not making music for like, let's say a whole year, just me being on YouTube or a friend telling me about an artist or me bumping into a song makes me feel like itchy. I get itchy.
You just want to create.
Like, I get unsettled. Yeah, I just want to create. And I ran to the studio. You know what I mean? So that's where I became happier and I had more faith in my music and I stopped rushing. Even now, I'm not in a rush anymore. I'm not like, yo, I need to win the people over. If anything, I just want to give them myself as much as I can. That's what I feel like I owe everybody, because the last few years of doing this music thing, I was so shy. I was scared, like, yo, what if they don't like my shit? I thought that, you know, if you release a wax song, it's over for you. Then I realized that no, man, even Drake has gotten the miss. Like, I really, like, I'm sure you guys can tell, like, I'm a big Drake fan. And I really look up to him and I look up to AK as well. Because at the end of the day, like, Drake has had songs that people don't even know that were misses. Like, people were like, no, that's not the one. And no one, whether it's in the live or in this interview, will probably know some of those songs only because they weren't the one. So Drake looks like he's achieving and killing it every time, but there's songs where no one actually listened to it or gave it time. So that made me realize that no, man, I gotta just keep releasing music. I might release a shit song, that's fine. Let me move on to the next. And I'm gonna keep doing that and take the way I release my music seriously. And eventually people will find that song that they want, because the people also don't know what they necessarily want. It's when they listen to it, they'll be like, this is what I'm messing with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because artists tend to also feel like they know what the listener wants. And that's not the case. The listener sometimes also doesn't know what they want, but when they hear it, they know that's what they need.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that's also a big mistake from artists, and that's why depression hits artists a lot, and they feel like, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not this. Is because of that mentality of, I'm supposed to know what the listener needs. And it's not that. It's just, you should have an idea of what people are listening to, but at the end of the day, it's not on you to decide. It's on the listener.
I think if you have a passion for something and if you truly love something, if you have to do it every single day and then one day it just fails completely,
Yeah.
and you are still happy and you are still believe that it was worth doing,
Yeah.
then it's something that you're truly passionate about.
Yeah.
If you are just doing something to be famous or just doing something to make money,
it won't last.
it's not going to last, and it's not,
not gonna
something
last,
that
yeah.
is actually, you're not actually creating value for people.
Yeah.
You're not actually helping people, and you're not in any way benefiting society. If you are just trying to grab and grab and grab, you're not benefiting society.
Yeah, and people feel that. I feel like people feel that. They'll be like, no, man. Like, and this can be in the long run. They can, the way you're grabbing for attention or fame or whatever, they'll grab it, and you might be even big for a year or 2 years. But for me, I'm not in it for the year, 2 year run. It's like a 10-year run. And eventually they can feel that you're not real about this shit. Well, I think by year 3, let's say you blow up this year, by year 3, that's when you usually fall off, because now the listener's like, this brew's not about this. Like, I can hear it, I can feel it, the way they move, the way they're about their music. This shit isn't real. And that's how people start leaving an artist slowly. And it's not intentional. It's not this. The listener's not like, this guy fell off, I'm done with him. They slowly just feel like, I want to listen to this new artist, or I want to listen to that artist. You know what I mean? So, because for me, I was like, yo, why am I not bored of Drake after all these years? And it's just because, like, he really puts effort in what he releases, and the quality, if not the same, sometimes it grows. If it falls off, it's cool. But I respect you because you're really about this music thing, and I can hear it. Sometimes you might not have the best song, but the fact that you always pushing is inspiring on its own.
Or just the matter of fact that he keeps on producing, even though he can let
Yeah.
you retire
Yeah.
5 years ago.
Yeah, he
For the
was
rest of
done
his
years
life,
ago.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's like a lot of artists, I feel personally, the reason why they stop is, firstly, I think they're just not about the business. They might love the music and they say, okay, I'm done with this fame thing. I'm just going to record and be at home where it's quiet. And I can respect that, you know what I mean? And then there's others that they doing it for the wrong reason, and then they fall under the depression because they're trying to impress people. That's where I'm just like, nah, stop capping. Why are you doing this? You know what I mean? Why are you doing this music thing? Why are you getting depressed if people are not fucking with your shit?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you should be doing this because you love it and you're trying to give people who you are. And those people that don't accept them, screw them. Focus on the people that mess with with your music. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to make, the people that fuck with my shit, listen to my shit, and hopefully they spread it and they tell their people like, yo, do you mess with this too? I'm like, they like, hell yeah. And that's how it spreads. That's actually how the music spreads.
Yeah.
Word of mouth is still literally the most powerful marketing tool. You know what I mean? So yeah, I just feel like just do this shit for the right reasons.
So what's next for you, bro? Obviously you say you got those 2 singles coming.
Yeah, so man, I'm basically preparing for the next release for the song called Hello Dumelang. And yeah, man, we just sorting out the artwork. I'm sorting out the rollout plan of, how we activate it on social media. Then there's obviously another song that I'll release later. That one's like my radio song of me, like letting people know that like I see myself as an A-lister and I can make A-list quality music, This one, Hello Dimelang, is very much for the people to have fun, to, you know, to use for social media, to also see my raps, because like, you know, sometimes on my music I'll be very musical, and then they won't see me like spit bars, you know. So I was just like, for this one, we're like, you know, Phantom's like, no boy, let's show them you can spit bars, you know. So I was like, cool, let's release a song where it's on me on my own and I'm just spitting and we're having a good time and it's fun, you know. So yeah, I can't wait for that. And then yeah, man, we're looking at also doing like a Tumi Tladi PTA tour, you know, because I'm really loving PTA right now. Like the energy, I feel like PTA right now is the new Joburg in terms of parties. Like the energy there is insane. Like
where in Pretoria are like most of the events that you would go to?
No, it's like everywhere in Pretoria, but I won't lie. In terms of the hood, my melody is like crazy right now. Like they got this create, like just thinking about it makes me smile. You know what I mean? Like that's how much I love performing there. But in general, PTA is a really dope spot for artists performing. The fans are really like showing love. The energy is there. You know, even whether it's hip hop or Amapiano, they just going wild in PTA right now. Like,
so for my white audience, predominantly white, what is the difference between hip hop and Amapiano?
I'm trying to simplify it in the best way. Is that there's a thing called a lock drum. Boom, 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 boom. So if they wanted to find the easiest way, you could use those differences. Where in hip hop we're starting to use it, but I'm sure you guys won't hear that in most hip hop songs. And it's just the chord progressions are different. The sound is different. It's obviously more onto the house side in terms of sound. But I want like Amapiano is a whole new genre of just a dope ass sound where I'm just like proud of it, because as much as I don't release Amapiano, I'm proud of it because it's really our sound, to a point that even the Nigerians are trying to take it right now from us.
So it was almost established in South Africa. Was it established?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But it's just it's gone international so fast that like now people think it's Nigerians that made it. And I don't know, you guys can correct me in the comments on YouTube if I'm wrong, but I think it first started blowing up in Pretoria as well.
Was there a particular artist, or was it just a bunch
of
artists?
No, there's a bunch of DJs, and then it moved on to celebrity DJs. You know, today is Kabza, The Small. I know I'm mentioning like proper guys because I'm not like that deep in with Amapiano, but just hearing the chats of how Amapiano came up, you know, Kabza was definitely one of the guys in the forefront, you know, that helped it be what it is today, you know. So it, you know, it sometimes upset me when I found out like Nigerians or whoever is trying to say it's not our sound, it's their sound. And I guess there's nothing we can do there because we don't have the exposure they have. You know, we're a small country, but at the end of the day, I'm still proud of the sound because I just listened to it. I'm even on I'm a piano song I featured on this guy called Tito Soul's project, and I'm singing on that I'm a piano song. And I'm just listening to the instruments and I'm just like, damn, guys, we have our own sound. Like, and the last time I felt like we had our own sound that like belonged to us that no one can take away was Kwaito. You know what I mean? Now we have Amapiano, where I feel like it's just blowing up more and more. It's just going to break my heart if Americans and other countries are not believing it's ours. Like, because the thing is, we've had chats on Clubhouse where the Americans will be like, no, man, you guys need to stop saying it's yours as South Africa. Like, the genre Africans do is Afrobeat. And I'm like, nah, man, like, you must understand, like, from South Africa, we are literally our own world. You know what I mean? That's why we like to correct, because Americans are just telling us like, yo, why do you guys like correcting this whole genre thing? Aren't you guys one continent? Shouldn't you guys be together? And I'm like, unfortunately, it's not like that. We don't benefit from...
It's like saying, America, why aren't you one continent?
Yeah, I'm saying, and I'm just like, nah, we can't, you know what I mean? And then they said something that didn't hit me where I was just like, oh, snap, okay, the world does this to America, where we say hip-hop, we just say America hip hop, but Atlanta's got its own type of hip hop. You know, LA has its own type of hip hop. The South has its own type of hip hop. But we just like, you guys do the same genre. That time the hip hop is totally different from each other. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I thought of that with Africa, and I was like, okay, cool. We do Amapiano, we do Kwaito, you know. So what the Americans try to call it as an overall of African sounds. They call it Afrobeat, you know. And I was just like, okay, cool. You'll say we Afrobeat, but sometimes when you're listening to our genre, try to acknowledge that you're listening to Amapiano. It's Amapiano music. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, we some of us South Africans will also acknowledge their hip hop and will be like, oh, that's South Side hip hop. You know what I mean? This is trap music. You know what I mean? So that type of thing. So I was just like, the same way we identify your hip hop genres, I think you should start identifying our African sounds like that. You know, the music that Davido and all of them do is Afro beat. We do Afro pop. We do Kwaito. We do house. We do Amapiano. Those are all different things. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think that's what's been going on. But I'm just very proud of Amapiano. Like, it's epic right now. It's beautiful. It's what kills me is that it's our sound and it sounds so amazing. Like, it really sounds like I tried to fight it at first because it was a new genre. I'm like, I don't have time for this. Like, and then when I'm listening to it, I'm just like, damn. Like, when you really sit down and listen to the instruments, you like, wow, these guys understood. It's gonna be mainstream. If not, it is already.
Would you be putting that in any of your music?
I think I put elements in it, in my music. And the one song I'm going to release after the Hello Dumelang has Amapiano elements, but it's still like trap.
Okay.
You know, so we call it trap piano.
Okay.
You know, so I think definitely in our music in future, you'll hear Amapiano elements in our music. And it's only because it belongs to us. So when Americans listen to us, they need to be like, oh, this is South African. So now if I'm going to play my music for an American, and the one song that has Amapiano is called Too Much. Now when he hears my song Too Much, he's going to be like, damn, what hip hop pocket is this? Just because of the way we hit it. Chances are you can even get a record deal in the States, or you can blow up internationally because no one's doing that sound. You know what I mean? So I think myself and Must Be Dubs will be the first to try and, you know, really merge the two. But Costa already basically did it, but now we're trying to do a more intense focus on that, because Ricky also kind of did it, but people felt it was more on Amapiano. But Costa, I feel like he started the whole, I'm gonna put the lock drums in hip hop. You know what I mean? So now with us, with the one song we have called Too Much, we were like, okay, let's really put that trap, like it's trap music, but radio trap, but it's mixed with Amapiano to give it that pop feel where a hip hop guy can listen to it. A person that doesn't listen to hip hop but listens to Amapiano can be like, oh, I actually like this song. You know what I mean? That type of vibe, yeah.
And your next little bit of music that's coming out, when do you have any dates? Can you
Yeah.
dates?
They can expect it on the 28th. Hello Dumelang one, yeah.
Of May.
Yeah, this
Okay,
month.
cool.
Yeah. So I'm gonna drop that. And then I'm just gonna pretty much read the audience, you know, see when I can drop the next single. But I'm just basically dropping a lot of music this year. Like, I'm not stopping. Like, I'm going ham this year. Yeah, I just want at the end of the year for everyone to have you know, the conversation of like, wow, Tumi really dropped, but not just dropped where you look over and you're just like, there was just too many songs. You must feel like, damn, I got to pay attention to each song Tumi was releasing, and I had fun listening to them. You know what I mean?
Bro, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Shout out for having me, bro.